My name is Brooke Strait, and I compete every day to show my daughters that they can do anything.
This is the Everyday Competitor Podcast. Each episode features people just like you, winning in their career, workouts, and life just like you want to. All because they've chosen to compete every day. Here's your host, Compete Everyday founder, Jake Thompson.
Brooke, hey, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. How are you, Jake?
I'm great. I appreciate you taking some time to join the show. Tell everyone about who you are, and let's talk about your journey. So before we dive in, give us a quick overview. You're a mom. You're based outside of Provo, Utah. Tell me a little bit about yourself for our listeners.
Yeah, so I am a mom of two little girls. I have Miley, who is almost 5 years old, and Betsy, she's almost 2. I do CrossFit. I've been doing CrossFit for about 6 years now. And since starting CrossFit, I have lost 75 pounds. And in that time, I've had both the two girls. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. I just am a mom and I love CrossFit.
That's awesome to me. And obviously there's a few questions I want to dive into on your journey about this, but we were talking earlier today about kind of that turning moment for you that you'd gotten involved in CrossFit, but tell us a little bit about kind of that defining moment that you said, I've got to make a change in how I'm eating, how I'm working out, how I'm living every day.
Yeah. So a little background, I started CrossFit and I was at the biggest I had been at my life at that point. And I was really interested in CrossFit just because I'd seen it on TV, and there was Annie Thor's daughter was winning the CrossFit games, and she's doing pull-ups and sled drags. And I just remember thinking, man, those girls are so strong. I want to be like them. So I signed up for CrossFit. And just shortly after I signed up for CrossFit, I got pregnant with Miley. And I wasn't totally prepared for all of that. And pregnancy, I did CrossFit throughout my pregnancy, but I struggled with eating quite a bit. And after I left the hospital 6 weeks postpartum, I was about 207 pounds, biggest I'd ever been. And I actually went out shopping with my mom to find a dress or something to wear for my daughter's baby blessing. And while we were out shopping, I couldn't fit in any of the clothes that the normal stores had. I'm putting on clothes and I can't get them on. I can't get them off once I finally somehow get them on. And my mom finally suggested, hey, maybe we should go to a plus size store. And when she said that, it was pretty devastating to me. So I kind of was upset, and I just said, let's go home. And at that point, I realized, I got to do something. I got to get this weight off. And I knew I liked CrossFit and that I needed to get the weight off, but kind of not being able to go shopping was really disappointing and devastating. And so at that point, I knew I needed to make a change in my eating. And if I wanted to get better at CrossFit, if I wanted to get my first pull-up or my first muscle up, the weight had to come off. And so at that point, I knew it was kind of time to take it more seriously and get the weight off.
I love that. I love that journey that, there was something that happened, but instead of continuing to accept that circumstances as just your new way of normal, you chose to write a new story to start competing for a better life for yourself and obviously for your family. I know earlier you shared that you were big in counting your macros. What became kind of that choice to choose that specific nutrition route for your lifestyle, or how has it made the most, impact on you?
Yeah. So after that, turning point for me, it was more like, hey, I got to get in the gym more, eating healthy. That's kind of the starting point I've noticed for a lot of people who need to lose a large amount of weight. You got to kind of start small. And my whole weight loss has been a learning experience. So, at first it was, okay, just eat healthy, stop eating out, stop drinking soda. So that's kind of how it started. And after my first year of postpartum, I had only lost about 15, 20 pounds, even though I was getting stronger at CrossFit. But that was pretty rough, even though, I tried to eat right. But at that point, I had heard of counting macros, and I've heard of, counting calories, but I was pretty interested in what that meant, counting macros. And, I think the first thing I read about macros was like, oh, well, like you can fit a donut into your macros, and you're, that makes you think a little bit. You're like, oh, okay. I mean, obviously at that point, I figured out what that meant protein, carbs, and fat. And that all made sense to me. And so I found some website that told me what my macros should be. And I used MyFitnessPal. And that's kind of what I started doing it on my own. I didn't necessarily know if it was really accurate or true, but at that point, I had lost, counting my macros, I had lost about 30 pounds. And so I was down to about 165 from just figuring it. And then at that, and I turned my attention to what I follow now is RP Strength. And they're a big macro diet company, I guess. And that's when I went kind of like from 165, I've gotten down to 130 now. And that's all macro based as well, but a little bit more in depth and in detail than what I was doing on my own.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, first, congratulations on all the success. A lot of people listening to this show might wonder what competing every day still looks like for you. If you've already gone through this incredible transformational journey, now where you are, obviously, your journey's not over, but to someone listening, what does it mean to compete every day kind of on a day-to-day for you?
Yeah. There's a couple things, being a mom, there is just the showing your children to like never give up, to pursue your dreams. I kind of grew up thinking I couldn't do a lot of things. And I think that's something I really want to show my daughters, is that you can do anything if you put your mind and your heart into it, if you show up every day and put in the work. And it's hard work. And some days it's not easy. And so they can do whatever they want to do if they're willing to put in the time and effort. So that's one thing is, yeah, go for it.
I was going to ask, was that defining moment for you when you went through that large weight loss transformation? Was that one of the first times that mentally it started to click, that you started to believe in the things that you could do and that perhaps you hadn't reached your limits? Or was there something else in life that you said, you know what, I can do this. I start to believe in myself?
I'll have to say that was in the CrossFit gym, know. The weight loss has been like great, obviously, but there's something about kind of being told, oh, women can't do pull-ups and women can't do weight lift, and then to go in and show up every day and put in everything you can and be able to do your first pull-up and realize like that strength inside of you. That was like some of the biggest things. I feel like for me, CrossFit, the feeling of success has been the reason why I still show up every day. Those little rare moments of a PR or going a little bit faster or lifting a little bit more weight, those are what drive me to show up to the gym every day.
I love it. And you're obviously measuring all this stuff because you can track where you've gotten better, faster, stronger, which is obviously a reason it's so incredibly important that regardless of whether we're CrossFitting, we're building a business, we're starting a new goal, we're tracking everything, we're writing down everything so that our daily process, we're focusing on that. And we can start to see those little wins, which become almost addictive. You're addicted to that success of continually getting better. So, Brooke, for people listening to the show in the Compete community, what is something about you that you would love for them to know?
I think when it comes down to it, I want to like share that moms can have body they've ever had, or a lot of moms, they think, oh, well, my body's lost because I had a kid, or I can't do this because of whatever, I don't have time. They start putting their kids first, which is good, which is okay. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to take care of yourself. And, I'm proof that you can still struggle as a parent, as a new mom, and that you can still take that time for yourself, and that you can be stronger than you've ever been, faster than you've ever been. You can have the best body you've ever had, all while still taking care of your kids. Because my kids know that when I go to CrossFit and come home, I am a much happier, patient, loving mom. And I think that's a good thing. And some moms look at that as kind of negative, to take time away from their family, but sometimes you kind of need that. And you can still compete, whether that's in the gym or even for your kids. Sometimes competing to me even means being a better mom every day. And, it's just taking the daily step-by-step baby steps to being the best you that you can be.
Absolutely, Brooke. That's some inspiring words. And I know that hits home with a lot of listeners who have expressed similar stories and struggles. And I know that's something that a lot of the moms and even the dads out there can relate to, because there's that constant push and pull of wanting to invest in yourself and continue to improve your health. But you also are still, where do I need to be for my kids? What can I do for my kids? And so I know that there's tension in that. And so thank you for expressing that it's okay to invest in yourself while still raising your kids, so you can be a better parent. You can be that best parent for them. So I want to ask you, it's 2019. What is one goal you're competing for this year?
Yeah. I was thinking about this earlier, and obviously there's a lot of in the gym goals, but those don't really matter so much now. That's still just competing every day to just be the best you. But something I really want to set for myself is to find a way to help other people go through kind of what I've gone through. I haven't really figured out what that means yet, but I'm kind of hoping this year I can really focus on helping people either lose the weight, or if that means being a nutrition coach or a CrossFit coach or something like that, where I can help people realize that they really are capable of anything that they put their mind to, and that they can lose the weight, they can get stronger and faster. And I think because I've gone through this for so long and I just know the hard work it takes, it would be so rewarding to help other people realize that they can do it too.
I love it, Brooke. Making an impact in the new year and beyond. That's awesome. So finish me out. I want you to complete this sentence. I compete every day.
You want me to say it now?
What? Just finish it out. What do you compete for everybody listening right now?
I compete every day to show my little girls that if they put their mind to something and work hard, that they can achieve anything.
I love it. Thanks for coming on this week, Brooke.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome. My name is Brooke Strait, and I'm an everyday competitor.
Thank you for listening to the Everyday Competitor Podcast. Visit www.competeforyour.life to learn how you can get connected with other competitors, contact the show, and find free resources to help you compete every day in life.